I've made the argument the entirety of my career that what I was trying to embrace was the timeless versions of characters, because when I got in the business in the late 80s, in 89, most of the published characters were going through a transformation of one type or another, usually meaning that they were being redesigned, new costumes, reflecting new cultural sensibilities, and most of those things would be proven quickly to not have any full staying power. So if you had a new costume design for, say, Spider-Man, it was not going to replace what was classic or what was considered to be the eternal version of the character. So creating a composition like what I've done here is my way of making the case for and the argument for these are the eternal versions of these characters. I think that, we can always tweak designs here and there, but at a certain point there's a bare bones kind of essential quality to them. Not all the characters were fully formed in the best of defined circumstances where they were like out of the womb, where they were in the perfect design they would always remain in, but much of them would go through evolution early on in their development where they would become the thing that you would generally come to recognize and regard as the classic version of itself. Say like Iron Man may have started off as a gray tin can looking version of himself, but within just a couple of years he was the red and gold version. Within like 10 issues he was the red and gold version of himself that we all know. And everything that we've seen played with of his design in the last 30, 40 years has all been variations upon what was figured out back then, back in like 64. There's a sensibility for every new generation coming to the stuff that they get a chance to redefine what these characters are, and depending upon the popularity of how they're accepted, new versions could stay around for quite a while. But usually from the period I've operated in the business, most things return to their classic design selves within a period of time, mostly because the people who are working on the stuff feel the desire to bring back those versions, and the fan base too. When I look at all the interpretations through other media, I become more entrenched in the idea of trying to make sure that the general public doesn't lose sight of some of the original graphic formation of the character's uniqueness. That oftentimes, like say, the movies will interpret a character by saying, I got rid of this costume the guy was wearing because it doesn't make any sense. And so you take a character like, say, Hawkeye, where now the general public never considers him as wearing a mask, but I grew up with this guy always having a mask and a certain kind of look, and you miss it. You think that, well, people should appreciate this about that character. It's a cool look he's got. And so every time I'm doing an illustration with that guy, I try and make my best case, hopefully, that if I can impress you to say, oh, that is a good costume, then you'll come around to my way of thinking. I'm not interpreting these things in wholly inventive ways on my own all the time, or hardly at all. I'm trying to represent something the way I feel it made an impression in my brain, and hopefully seduce other people to the same point of view.